Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. This year I will be doing a farmhouse themed Christmas. All the supplies that I will be using will serve as a basis to show you how I put items together for my projects. I hope that they will serve as an inspiration to give you ideas on how you can put things together for your holiday decorating. And I hope that you will enjoy this whole series. And as always, to all of you, Merry Christmas. Alright everyone, so today I want to make a trio of Christmas wreaths that I want to hang in front of this mirror right here. Last year I had a huge Santa wreath on this wall, but because we have added this mirror and this farmhouse sign, I want to keep that theme going for this holiday season. So I'm going to make 3 small wreaths, and I want my wreaths to hang from right above the frame of this mirror between that other item up here, the other artwork that says farmhouse. I want it to hang from there down, the middle one. I want it to hang down and about right about there where my hand is. And then I want to put 2 on each side, on this side and then 1 on this side, and I want them to hang a little bit higher on the mirror. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing some measuring, so we're going to get up close and then I'll tell you what the supplies are going to be. Alright, well I want you to keep in mind that maybe you don't have a mirror that's this big or a framed art, depending on what you want to put your little wreaths on. Maybe it's a window. So go ahead and measure your window so you know how much space you have across and all the way down, so that you'll know where to place your wreaths. Now you may decide to just do 1 little wreath, maybe 2, or go ahead and do all 3 of them. Okay, so now I have this mirror, and this is a fairly long mirror, so like I said, I want the first wreath to hang from here to right about right here, and then I want the other ones on each side right about here a little bit higher. So I'm just going to measure from the top right above my frame to the lowest point that I want the wreath to hang. That way it gives me an overall length of the whole item built together. When we go into the craft room, I will decide what size diameter wreath will fit within those measurements. Okay, so I am measuring and I'm giving it about 1 inch above the frame. And the lowest I want it to hang on here is 21 inches. That's for the middle one. And on this one, the lowest side I want it to hang is about 17 inches. So I got my measurements, 21 inches and 17 inches. So let's get to the craft room. Alright, so my first item is going to be some garland. I need some pine garland, and you want to get yourself some good quality garland that has wire inside of it, because we are going to be forming little wreaths from it. And the purpose of this is to show you how you can use garland to create wreaths. If you don't want to do that, you can just go ahead and buy yourself some already made wreaths. But I will let you know that this is a 9-foot garland. And I got this from Hobby Lobby. Pretty much all the garlands that you'll buy will be about 6 feet to 9 feet. So this is a 9-foot garland. It was $10, but I actually got it for $6 because they do have it at 40% off. So 9 feet of garland for $6. I've already used some of this garland on another project, but I have enough left over. So I just want to show you how cost effective it is to use this rather than buying little wreaths that are already made, because each of those tiny little wreaths may cost you, $5 or $6 each. Okay, so instead of spending $18, we'll spend $6. Okay, also what we'll need is some little greeneries, extra greeneries of another color if you wish. If not, you can use little flowers or ivy or any other greenery that you like for your Christmas decor. I picked this stem of pine greenery that just has a different green, just so that I can highlight it. I'm going to use very small pieces from this in my wreaths, so just grab whatever you like. I'm also going to introduce some little bits of cotton into my little wreaths, because it goes with my farmhouse theme. And then I'm going to place some small little berries. By the way, this was from Michael's, from their fall. And this was from a store, in a floral store in a downtown that I found. Well, actually, it's not in my town, but it's another city. But you can look for sprays like this in your floral department at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, even Walmart, or even at the Dollar Tree. Not like this, of course, at the Dollar Tree. You will find smaller bushes like this with greenery, or little berries like this, or even little flowers. So certainly you can use items from the Dollar Tree as these berries are from, and I've actually already used one of the clusters, so I'm just going to use one more cluster out of this, and it's going to go a long way. All right, so I decided that I wanted to add some little jingle bells, even though it's not going to be, you know, ringing while they're just resting across my mirror. But I'm going to use these rustic looking bells because they have that farmhouse theme to them, and I'm just going to go ahead and add them. And to hang them, I am going to use some twine. I got these items from Hobby Lobby, I believe. Yes, I did. I got my twine and my bells from Hobby Lobby. You can get your bells from wherever. You don't have to put a bell. It could be a little ornament or nothing at all. Of course, twine is sold at the Dollar Tree as well. From the Dollar Tree, I did grab these ribbons. I found them very pretty. They have a burlap look to them, and then they have some lace, and I feel like that goes very well with the whole farmhouse theme. I got 3 rolls. I don't think I'm going to use all the ribbon in 3 rows, but there we go. I'm just counting like 1 for each wreath, but I'm going to have some of this left over, which I will use in other projects. Okay, so my tools, as you saw, I used a measuring tape to measure how long I wanted my wreath to hang from my mirror. And then I've got some scissors. I've got wire cutters. I'm going to be using floral wire, some needle nose pliers, and I've got my hot glue gun all plugged up with some hot glue ready to go. So let's get to crafting. Alright, so I've got my garland set out. I'm not going to poof it up like I normally do because I'm going to be maneuvering it a lot and I feel like I'm just going to crush it. So I'm going to wait till I form it into my wreath before I decide to poof it up. Okay, so now the space that I had, or the length that I had for my hanging wreath in the middle was 21 inches. So this is the amount of space that I have to work with. The top of my ribbon down to the bottommost part of my wreath. So obviously I want my wreath to be around right here, and I decided that I like about a 10-inch diameter wreath. So I'm going to fold this. Let's make it into a wreath form right here real quick. Let's see. Okay, so if I'm going from wire, like the wire part, not like down here, but the wire part, this is 10 inches, and then I'm going to go across like that. And this is just a little bit less than 10 inches, so I need to go a little bit more, right about right here. It doesn't have to be an exact science. You can just cut it at whatever point you want. If you feel like, oh, this is a good size, then just cut it right there, and then all you do is just, after you've cut this from here, use that as your length to cut the other 2 pieces if you are going to be making 3 wreaths. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to cut right about here, and then I'm going to cut 2 more pieces from my garland the same length as this so I can make my other 2 wreaths. So I will be back. Okay, so now I've got my 3 pieces. I'm going to put 2 aside because I'm going to form the first one. All I'm going to do is grab the 2 ends, and on one of them here you'll notice it has a little loop there because that is from the beginning. Now all of these won't have that, so this would be super easy to just grab this one little piece and just, you know, loop it through there and then twist it with another piece and it's locked. But the other ones don't have that on their ends. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab 2 pieces from each one, the ones that are at the furthest end that are not, you know, coming off. Here we go, this one right here and this one, and then we're just going to bring them together and twist them nice and tight so they don't come apart, just like that. And then just form your circle as best as you can. And this is why we want a nice good garland that's nice and sturdy, that will keep its shape. And we're not going to put too many little ornaments or things on it because I don't want to weigh it down and then possibly with a weight have it do this and droop. I want it to keep its shape. Okay, so I'm going to do the other 2 just like this, and what I'm doing is I'm just poofing it, making it all pretty, bringing all the little stems, separating them so they're not, you know, bunched up, and it looks pretty, and it actually makes the wreath look a little bit bigger. Okay, more or less that's what we want. I'm going to go ahead and do that with the other 2, and I shall be back. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've already poofed all my 3 wreaths, but I wanted to give you a little tip before I went on. The one thing that you want to make sure is that all of your, you know, the stems, these little branches, on your garland that they're all going upward or to the sides. You don't have any sticking up at the back. The back, you want it to be flat. That's what's laying flat, because this is going to be against the wall and you don't want them, any of your pieces scratching up against the wall, and basically you don't want them just wasted back here. So you want to push them forward and up and to the sides and pull them out. Okay, so this is my finished wreath. I think it looks really pretty. I'm going to measure it one more time, and now it has an approximate 14 inches all the way around from one end to the other and so forth over here. So I know that it's a round. Now, if I feel like maybe it's a little bit too big, now I've gone ahead and I've already measured my mirror, and 14 inches was going to be fine. But if I felt like maybe it was a little too big, here's a little tip for you. You can take all these little stems and then you'll curl them in like that, just a little bit. Take all your little tippies and curl them in. And just work your way all the way around. Curl them just a little bit. And if you notice this area right here, it's already starting to look a little bit smaller. Let me go ahead and do this part up here. Okay. It's just a tiny little difference, but it also makes it look a lot fuller than if you just have all your garland open like that. This is what it looks like with all the little stems or little branches curled inwards. So it made a little bit of a smaller wreath, but here's one that hasn't been done yet so that you can look at the difference. And you can see that it looks just fine when it's all open. It looks really pretty. But then I made it just a tiny bit smaller. So let's measure it and see what it is now. It's about 11 inches. Turn it around this way. Also about 11 inches. Let me measure that again so that you can see that up close. 11 inches right there. Okay? All right. So now we have a choice. If you want it to be open and bigger, or if you want it to be tighter and a little bit smaller. I'm going to go with this tighter and a little bit smaller because this is the look that I want my wreath to have. It looks a little sturdier as well. It's just an illusion. Okay, so then I'm going to take this wreath that's already been done, and I'll finish up the other two in a moment. But let's go ahead and work with this one. And I wanted to hang a little jingle bell from it. So I'm going to take some twine and a little bell. And I'm just going to string the twine through the belt at this time. I'm going to double the ribbon just a little bit. And then I'm just going to see at what length I want it to hang. And I want it to hang kind of at halfway there. So I have enough twine here to tie it around up here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the twine right there. And you know what? Before I tie it up and do whatever else I'm going to do, I'm going to use it to measure the length of 2 more pieces of twine for my other 2 bells on my other 2 wreaths. My hands are all scratched up from the Christmas tree that I did last week. Look at that. I got scratches here, scratches there. And you know what? Most of it was from the mesh. But as I'm moving along on my pine, it kind of hurts a little bit. Okay, so I've got my little strings here for my other 2 bells ready. Now where I want to hang this from, I want the top to be where I tied them together. But I really can't find it anymore. I have no idea where it was that I first brought the 2 ends together to tie them. So I'm just going to choose, I'm going to choose right here because I feel like right here it just kind of looks like it's less. I know that over here it kind of does too. But I'm going to choose right here. And I'm just going to bring this little, I'm going to make a knot here. First of all, at the bottom of the string here. A little knot, just so that the little bell stays right there. And then I'm just going to tie this one piece under and the other piece over. Bring it around through the stem so that they're not in the way. Now you could just tie them or grab the 2 pieces and make a little knot. I'm going to try and grab the 2 pieces and make a little knot pull on this little string here and just pull it down like that, and so that it doesn't move from there, and it probably won't, but I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I'm going to use my needle nose pliers to kind of press down the greenery there to help me push it down as well. Okay, so that little spot I want it to kind of stay open, and that's where the little bell is going to be hanging from. This would be great on a door, so that every time the door opens and it makes a little noise. Now, something light like this, you could use a little suction cup holder. You know what I mean? Those little suction cups. If you have a glass, you know, you have a little glass window on your door, and you don't want to really cover too much, so you want to use something small. Something light like this would hang on on a window, a glass window on a suction cup. Okay. Anyway, so now we're going to put some ribbon on our little wreath, and I want the ribbon also to be folded where it's going to hang. I'm going to put it sideways like that so that we can do some more measuring. Now the middle one, where the most it could hang, was 21 inches. So the top of my ribbon, the top of my ribbon would be right about right here. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to lock this in place so it doesn't move on me, and keep that 21 inches off to the side so I can be looking at it. The bottom of my wreath can be, let's see, let's move this back a little bit. Okay, there we go. The bottom of my wreath can be right here. There we go. I guess I need to move back the camera back a little bit. Let me go ahead and do that so you can see a little bit better. All right, so here's my 21 inches again. It's actually right here. There's the whole measuring tape right there, but I've got it at about 22 inches. So 21 inches is right here. This is going to be where the wreath is going to hang at the most. So then I want a ribbon like that, and I want it folded in half just like that. So wherever the little bell is, I'm going to spread the garland. Get the little bell. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it through the loop of the string of the bell. Ah, there we go. Let's see if that makes any difference in how our little bell hangs. There we go. Let's pull that through. Not gonna like that. Okay, and let's do this again. This is going to be at 21, so it has to be right here. So I'm actually going to bring this down a little bit. Let's hold it down like that, and bring this back. You could trim the ribbon at the length, but I'm trying to get it so that I don't have to trim too much of the ribbon, because I don't want to waste any of it. So I'm doing a lot of maneuvering, and it's okay if it's a little less than 21 inches. That is fine. I don't want it to be any longer than that, but this is approximately at the 21 inches. So I'm going to just cut that right there, because that's all I want it to hang. Okay, right here. It's actually at the 20 now. Once I put a little bow on here, it'll actually be at 21. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal the two ends. But before I do, I'm going to open this up again, and I'm going to measure, because I need 3 pieces in that same, oh wait, no I don't. The other 2 pieces are going to be less, so let's go ahead and just skip right over to what I was going to be doing. I'm going to glue the 2 ends. My grass is being cut, so you're going to hear noise. I'm sorry. Okay. We're going to do that. Okay, so now I measured 21 inches because that is what I want my middle wreath to hang at the most. And the other ones I decided would be 17. So my ribbon would actually be cut shorter. It would be at this point, because I want them to be up higher on my mirror on each end, so that the middle one hangs lower. So that's basically what I want, and that looks really good if I was to choose that. 17 compared to 21. So I'm going to go ahead and do my other 2 wreaths with the 17 measurement rather than the 21, and then I will be back and we'll do some little bows to put up at the top here. This is what it's looking like so far. I think that looks really pretty, and I shall be back. Alright, so I've got my 3 wreaths here, and they've all got their ribbons and where they're going to be hanging from. I'm going to move a couple of these out of the way. These are the shorter ones that are going to go on each side. This is the longer one that's going to go right in the middle. Now I want to put a little bow right here. Now I'm not going to make a very intricate bow. I want to keep this as simple and as uncluttered as I possibly can. It is going to have some decoration on here, but I still want it to have as simple as I can do it. Okay, so I'm going to put just like a little looped bow like that on here, and I feel like this is enough ribbon to do that. I'm not going to put any little tails on it, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to cut it about right so that it overlaps about 2 inches. And if you want to know, in case you're doing the exact same sizes that I'm doing, this little piece is 16 inches. Now this one over here, for the one that was going to be 21 inches, the longer one, this piece here measures 11, so double is 22 inches. And the ribbon for this one here, 9, so 18 inches. So 18 inches I cut a ribbon for the smaller or the shorter lengths, and I think I said 22 for the longer one. And here we have 16 inches. So I'm just going to fold this up and just kind of overlap it about 1 inch right there. That's my dog making all that noise in the background. I'm going to take some floral wire, and I'm going to take about 6 or 8 inches. That's probably more like 10. And I'm just going to crinkle it right in the middle, right where they're overlapping with each other, and wrap the ribbon around and just twist. Okay, just like that. And this wire, I'm going to bring it upward like that. I'm going to glue this bow right on the edge right here of this ribbon, because I don't want any of it showing up in the top. So make sure you bring this wire up forward, because we're going to do something with that. And I can hear them chomping away at stuff outside. Okay, so more or less center it on here. And of course your bow, you can poof it up and make it really pretty, but we'll wait till, you know, we're all about to hang it on the wall or already hanging on the wall, so we don't, you know, we don't flatten anything in the meantime. So I'm just going to put that on there for now. And I'm going to do the same for all of them. And I'm going to turn this around like so, because we need somewhere for these to hang from. So I'm going to now fold this wire down at the back like so. And I'm just going to put my fingertip right there and just lift it upward, okay? Okay, let's see if you can see that. Where the wire is now going up like that. Or maybe on my palm. There we go. Okay? So now I'm going to put hot glue right there so that stays down right there in its place. And I'm going to let all of these dry. So I'm going to repeat this for the other two, and I'm going to let this glue dry before I do anything else. And of course, with all that noise, I'm going to have to move along. But I need to let you know something real quick, because so far I've only opened one roll of ribbon, okay? This is 9 feet, that's 3 yards. So let's measure another 16 inches and see if I have, I think I probably might have enough. I don't know, I might have to go into my my second roll. Here's 16 inches. Let's see if this will make 16 inches. Actually, it does. All right, and there's some tape on here and some odd tape on the edge here, which I'm just going to remove. Yeah, I think it was just to protect things from moving. Okay, here we go. Now I've got my other 2 pieces so that I can make my other 2 little bows for the other 2 wreaths. And I'm going to do that, do all of this, and I shall be back. All right, this one is already dry. This little glob of glue that I've put on here is already dry, and the other 2 are drying right now. So I've gotten 3 of these push pins. You can't see them. Let me hold it up. Just a push pin like that. And I got clear ones here. You can use whatever color. They're not going to show. And if you don't mind pushing these into your wall, then it'll be fine. Okay. I'm going to put these push pins on these wire right here, and that's why I wanted to bring the wire behind so that I would have something to push into the wall so my wreath would hang. Now, if you don't want to do that, and maybe you have some of those command hooks that have the little sticky stuff that come off the wall, then you can use those, and all you have to do is just make a loop. Make sure you twist it really well into itself, and then you could use that to hook onto the command hook. and that'll hang perfectly fine off of your wall as long as the command hook can hold just a tiny bit of weight. This isn't very heavy, so you don't want to make it too decorative. Okay, so but I'm going to go ahead and use a little tack to push it into the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this wire and I'm just going to grab it right nice and tightly around the push pin. This little area here, because you know how it goes in and then it comes back out like that. Little area in there. And if I need help, I can just use my pliers, mainly so I don't poke myself with the end of the push pin. But heck, I've been poked so many times already with so many things, I don't think it'll make a difference. Okay, so once I've got it nice and tight around the push pin, as you can see right there, I'm going to try and slide this push pin facing upward. Make sure I push those ends of the wire around the push pin. Oops, sorry. Make sure I push the wires around the push pin. I'm going to use the pliers to, again, make sure I press everything nice and tight. See, I maneuvered the push pin now to kind of be just straight, sticking straight up like that. And now I'm going to put glue right there so that it stays in its position, and then all I have to do is just push it into the wall. Okay. Let's put glue. Plenty of glue so it doesn't come off. And you've got yourself a little built-in, sorry, but I put lots of glue on it like so, just to make sure that that is going to stay. So I'm going to do that with the other two, and I shall be back. All right, so I've completed all my wreaths with the little pins at the back of each bow. Now, if you don't want to put the pin, again, you can just make a little loop with the wire and hang it that way. And this is ready to hang anywhere, just like that. I think it looks really pretty. You could use some of that spray snow just to decorate it if you wanted to do that. You don't have to put much else on it. I am going to put a little decoration on it. I will let you know before I move along that I used one whole roll of ribbon, 3 yards or 9 feet, okay? Now my garland, I used 26 inches to create this one wreath. So obviously you're gonna need 26 inches more for the second one and for the third, and then again for the third one. So that is how many inches of garland I used to create the 3 wreaths, in case you're curious. Okay, so a 9-foot garland is obviously more than enough, and you might have a little tiny bit left over. Okay, so now we've got this stem that I've cut up into little pieces. And it had, not cut off into little pieces, but I cut off the branches off the stem so they would be separate. And I've got 2 long pieces, another 2 long pieces here, and then I've got 2 little shorties. So I decided that I'm going to use 2 on the one in the middle, a long and a short one, a long and a short one over there. So that's what I'm going to do. You can do it however you want, so they're not going to be exactly the same. So now I'm going to put this greenery into my wreath. So all I'm doing is I'm just curving it a little bit, something like so. And then I'm just going to put some glue at the tip here. You don't have to glue it. You can just wire it into the wreath with the pine bits here. Just twist them around, and that'll hold it, and then just kind of tuck it in here and there. And that'll hold it just fine. But I like to glue things down, so that's what I'm going to do. Let me go ahead and untangle these 2 that I tangled together. And I'm going to open this up just a little bit where it's going to rest right in there. Just a bit of glue at the tip. Put that right in there. And then I can close the bits of garland a little bit over it. I'm going to pull some of these little needles on it upward, so that it's not hiding too much under the other wreath or the other pine needles. Okay, now on the other side, the same thing. And I'm basically going to repeat the procedure on my other 2, the procedure, the process, if you want to call it that instead of the procedure. Okay, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to repeat the same thing on my smaller wreaths. But what I'm going to do with my smaller wreaths, because I have a long stem and then a little short one, what I'm going to do is on the one that's going to hang on the left of this one here, I'm going to put the long one on the outside and then the shorter bit on the inside, and then the one that's hanging on the right, you know, the long one on the right outer side, and then the smaller one on the inside. Okay, if you kind of get that. Okay, so let me go ahead and do one, for example. And as you can see, the ribbons are shorter. And there's the mower, nice and loud. Okay, you can see that this one is the longer one, so that's the middle one. This is going to be on the left side of it. Your left as you're looking at it. My right as I'm looking at it. Okay, so now I'm just going to curve the piece. Again, put some glue at the tip of it. You know, while I was off doing all that other work off camera, there was no noise from the lawnmower, and as soon as I, you know, decide to start recording, you can hear it again. Okay. I see what's going on, and there he goes again. Okay. All right, so here you can see I got a longer piece here and a shorter one over here, and I think it looks just fine. It added a little dimension and a little color to my wreath. I think it looks really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to get the other one and do the opposite. So the longer one on the right and then the shorter one on the inside. I like these. It has a little bit of glittery on them, so they're nice and sparkly. So it's farmhouse, but I am adding some sparkle here and there to my decor. Look at that. That looks so pretty. Again, this is finished just as it is, but like I said, I'm going to add some stuff to it. But I'm going to take a little break while that mower is passing nearby, and I shall be back. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've decorated these two also with these little cotton stems, little pieces right on them, and then I put a little pine cone because the stem that I happened to grab happened to have three pine cones like this. This was the bigger one, and then I had two smaller ones. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just cutting off, you know, the pieces that were in a stem separately and then putting them onto my wreaths. So when you grab a stem, just pick something that has an equal amount depending on how many little wreaths you're going to make, or maybe you'll have to grab an extra stem. Alright, so now I'm just going to hot glue these guys onto this larger one. I'm actually going to remove this part because I want to make them look even. And let me trim some of that off. Okay. A little glue on the tip and just tuck it in. And just fix a little cotton because it kind of gets pulled on, so just fix that. Got the other bit here. This is actually, it used up a whole stem. They do have these stems at Hobby Lobby too, by the way. They have them at Hobby Lobby, I think I mentioned that, but I did buy some extra ones at another store in downtown. And I don't think you'll have one where you are from, so just any floral store wherever you find your stems, just see how much is in there and see what you can share between your items. This one, if you're here from the Rio Grande Valley, Texas, it is a store called La Floreria Lee in McAllen, Texas, and it is on, let's see, Floreria Lee is on 10th Street, and you turn into, there used to be an old HEB. I don't remember exactly the name of the road, but if you just look down on 10th Street or look it up, Floreria Lee in McAllen, Texas. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue this pine cone here at the bottom. And just because I had this little bit of, this little dry piece from the cotton, I'm just going to go ahead and use that little piece too, because I don't want to waste it. I'm just going to put it right here. Just tuck it in right there. Okay, so here I've got my 3 wreaths. So let's look at them. Oh, wait a minute. We have some little berries. I'm going to add some little berries. You could stop right there again. But I wanted to add a little red element to my design, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put this nice big piece down at the bottom here. Let me do the same with the other ones. Okay, there we go. I made a bigger cluster, and I've got some here that I could actually make a little more, but I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. And I think everything has a little touch of red. So this is basically what they all look like with a little bow. Okay, so let me hold them up so that you can see them better, and then I'm going to put them on the mirror and do a little camera panning through it so that you can see what they look like already hung on the wall. Alright, so here are my 3 finished wreaths. These are the 2 shorter ones. I'm going to put them on the table for now. And this is the longer one that I'm going to hang on the wall in front of that mirror that I showed you. I love the way they came out. Take a good, nice close-up look at that. Alright, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you will give me a big old thumbs up. Leave a nice comment down below. Thank you to everyone who has left beautiful comments and your lovely suggestions. I am taking them into account. You have great ideas. All right, so also subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And I want to thank all of you who have been subscribing. Thank you so very much for considering watching my videos. And not only that, for pushing the subscribe button. I will remind you to also hit that little notification bell. That will remind you when I upload my videos, which is going to be every Tuesday and every Friday. And I'm doing crafts between now and until the end of November. I may do a recipe here and there. Okay, so that's it. And make sure you share on your social medias. As always, enjoy.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.